Greetings to you everyone, wherever you are watching me from. This is part 5 of this topic, practical information for asylum seeker. So please, if you have not watched the introduction of the other videos from part 1 to part 4 of this video, please, I advise you to do so because it will allow you to have more understanding of this topic. Thank you. Seeking for international protection or asylum has different steps has different steps. So today I'm going to be talking about step 1 of what you should do or what you should not do in the step of taking the step of seeking for international protection. Presentation of the request for international protection, step 1. In this step 1, listen. Your request for international protection is individual. Know that your request for international protection is a personal issue, is a personal request and must be presented to the border police at the time you arrive in Italy. Here I'm using Italy because I'm making this video from Italy. The Italy can be replaced with any country you may find yourself. To the police department, police immigration office, if you are already in that country or in Italy. Remember, if you are a parent, your application includes your unmarried minor children present on Italy territory. So remember again, I'm using Italy because I'm making this video from Italy. Here in Italy can also be replaced by any country you may find yourself. If you have entered the country of Italy without an individual entry visa and therefore without an authorization, the Italian or any country you may find yourself, the law of that country provide as identification procedure which will be carried out by the police. This means that you will have to be identified before the asylum application is presented. So wherever you arrive in any country, you ever in any country border, you will have to first of all be identified. You have to identify yourself. You have to meet with police and or the border police. A question will be asked. You'll be asked to identify some of personal information as to be able to know who you are and where you are coming from. Regarding this, you will be informed about the date of an appointment at the police office. During the meeting, a police officer will be present if necessary, an interpreter who speaks your first language or another language that permits you to express yourself. So at the time you will be questioned of your personal details. You will be asked of your personal details. If you can communicate with the language of that country, you are allowed to speak any language that you can understand, or even request or have anybody to interpret whatsoever the police or you or anybody will be saying regarding to your information. So you have the right to have an interpreter, and you also have the right to speak in the language you understand. The police will take your photo and fingerprint. Here we call it photo signalamento, which means a procedure to verify identity. Now here you will be asked, you'll be taking a photo or a fingerprint, biometric information, just to know you also have your data record in their system. Later, you will have an appointment to formalize your information, your application, during which the standard form for the recognition of refugee status according to the Geneva Convention. So in the last video, I talked about the meaning of Geneva Convention and what is the Geneva Convention. So if you watch this video, you will have more understanding of Geneva Convention. We and the form will be filled. Our question that you're going to be asking as and the question I listed here: your personal data, name, surname, date of birth, place of birth, nationality and relative, name and surname of your parents, name and surname of your husband or wife, name and surname of your children, the place where your relatives are living. Furthermore, you will be asked other questions. So these are the basic and important questions that you will be asked. So please, my advice for you here is to try as much as possible to be calm. Just try as much as possible to give real information of your personal details, because I know some of you made a mistake in this very place because you want to have a document. You claim not to have parents, you claim not to have children, you claim not to have wife, even though you have one. You claim not to have relative, place and place. Your purpose of accepting of your asylum, of giving a document, of not giving, is not because you have children or family or not. Please always remember to measure every of your relative, your family. Don't leave anyone behind, because if you do, whatsoever stories you're going to be, whatsoever information you're going to be giving to them is going to be documented. So in the future, if you lie about your story, it may affect you, or you may find a challenge in the future whereby you would like to use your document, or you would like to use your document to assist any one of your relative or your children or your family. It will be difficult for you, because at the time you arrive in the country, you lie not to have any. Then you also have to describe the route where you take to the original country. So in this case, Italy, for example, to describe how you departed from your country, the roads you follow, how many days it took you, and whether you paid or you did not pay, and every other information will be asked according to the depending on the person or the police that will be questioning, that will be asking you this information. Also to tell a brief reason for leaving your country, and this very part is very important. This very part have a lot to do with your document. The reason why you left your country or why you live in your country is very important. And in this question, you can also be asked, maybe after your second, this is just remember this question, this very place is you are seeing on the stage, or the first stage, where you are giving your report to the police department, not yet the commission body, not yet, because whatsoever thing you're going to be put down here, the same thing you're going to be asked when you be given a date to meet the commission. So please always try as much as possible to speak in the same manner, or to speak or to say same thing that you're going to be telling to the commission, because they're going to be asking you the same question. Also, you will be asked to write down briefly these reasons. You may write in your first language or another language that permits you to express yourself. Like I said before, language is not a barrier, so there's not always trying as much as possible. If you can't understand their language, or you can't express in the language they want you to speak, please always let them know, tell them that you can't understand the language they ask you to speak, and you will be asking which language you want to use. If they don't have anybody to interpret to them, you can look for, or they can look for you. The person must be a person that can understand their language too, so that as to be able to explain to them what you're going to be telling the person. Remember to inform the operator or the police if you have difficulties in reading or writing. These parts are also very, very much important because some of you who have this challenge, you will be afraid not to speak because you don't want anything to affect your document. In fact, it is when you refuse to inform them of what your difficulties are that your document that you may be having a risk of not to have your document, because at the end of the day you may not be able to give right information. The police will keep the original standard form. The standard form is the form that you will have to fill, where you'll be asking your name, your surname, your children and family, and so on and so forth. With standard form, and a copy of the form will be issued to you. And please, anytime you be issued this copy, when you get to, please try as much as possible to read, to always go through the information you give to them, because you may discover sometimes that some of the information you give are not right. So that if you have any possibility to quickly do an amendment to the information, you will do. You don't just take it home and keep it under your cupboard and be waiting for the day of your interview, because sometimes it's happened that maybe probably when you want to measure your state of origin or your place of birth, you may make a mistake of using your place of birth to replace your place of origin. So always go through the copy of the information you give to them, so that as to know whether you have given them wrong information or not. So the information given during the interview with the police is confidential. It cannot be transmitted to the authority of your own country. So don't be afraid that if you tell them any story, it will be sent to your country of origin. So because of that, you may decide not to give every information you have that probably help you to get a document. It cannot also be transmitted to other people in the center or outside the center. You may add a written page with your personal story to the standard form. So apart all the question that you will be asking, so you can also add your own personal little story that you would like to add to the question, just to back it up, just to back your story up. Should in case you have any, please always know that you have a possibility to do so. It is not necessary for you to write in Italian language. You may write directly in your first language, and this apply. Remember again, this is a Italian. I'm making this video from Italy, and that is why I'm using Italy. So this applies to any country you may also find yourself. So please don't hesitate to inform them whatsoever your difficulties are. The police will ask you whether you have a document or not. Please, my advice for you here is, if you are having any document, it's advisable to state it to the police, make it known to the police. When you have a valid document or any document, such like passport, for example, you carry your place of birth, your place of origin, your date of birth. See, those information can easily be taken from there without considering the one you said with your demand. So that's one of the reasons why you will be asked if you have any document with you. In the case you have a document including the passport, hand it in to the police, and then we make a copy of them. The police will keep the original and issue a standard copy record of the return to you. So here is whenever they are keeping your original copy document, they are definitely going to be giving it to you at the end of the the end of your process of your asylum. So if you eventually be given the documents, for example, you submit Nigerian passport, I don't think that you'll be expecting, or you say you submit a passport of your country of origin, and you've been at the end of the day given um, asylum documents. You will also be issued a passport attached to it. Another necessary document you'll be submitting. So there will be also be given them to you. You can also request for this document for personal reasons. So please always keep this information in mind. Thank you for watching, and I hope this information helped you.